But, as always, with our streamly reminders, mental health is important. Please seek help if you are experiencing any level of distress. Doesn't matter, small or big. Therapists and psychiatrists, they are the trained professionals there to help you. The first one you meet might not be a right fit. The second one might not be a right fit. You just keep going until you find the right one, and things will at least be better for you internally. And that's a big step towards having a better life. There's a Wikipedia link down below that has crisis and emergency lines internationally. If you're in the U.S., you can call or text 988 24/7 to get immediate help with issues. And if you are 25 or younger and part of the Saga community, sexual and gender acceptance, you can get a hold of the Trevor Project for discreet help in case you are not safe to come out in your current living situation. Beyond that, we of course have links down below for social media and Ko-Fi and a merch shop and surveys and all kinds of fun stuff. Just go check it out if you want to support us, free or paid. Doesn't really matter. Best thing you can do for us, though, is give us that free follow, subscribe, and tell your friends about us. If you are into the show and you have friends who are into D&D, they might be into the show, too. And with all that said, welcome back to the Highroad of Maluviette, a 5e campaign. This stands as the first of 4 20-level campaigns we hope to get through as part of the Forgotten Deity story. Our heroes are traveling an 1,800-mile stretch of road through a mountain to clear it out and make it usable again. Along the way, they have to contend with all of the problems they find along the way, mysterious purple crystals known as torment fragments, and the fact that both player and character are sharing a body. Last time, we began with Tempest sitting lonely in the inner workings of her own soul as she transformed into a werewolf and began tearing apart the instant fortress that most of the rest of the party was in. Through the battle, most of what was done was trying to keep her from hurting anybody or herself, while she had a little chat with a voice inside her head, telling her that she needed to accept herself, accept what she truly is. Pius, using telepathy, managed to get in on the conversation and tried to help lead Tempest along, until finally she gave in and accepted that she is a werewolf. She now is in full control of her transformations and will not just randomly wolf out and start killing party members. And then everyone began on the road again, as you had made no progress since your previous endeavor to a temple to collect Bicken's artifacts. When the next night came around, Pius noticed from his post outside of the Instant Fortress that there were a bunch of shadowy figures hanging around. Once the sun began to come up, it was a dreary, cloudy morning, dark, and there was a call that there were penguins about, sending Captain flying out of the Instant Fortress in nothing but his underwear, quickly followed by the rest of the party. The fight was more tedious than terrifying, and ended with Tempest hearing 2 vague words from the leader of these penguins, Shadowbeak: Kraken and immortality. We pick up with everyone having just finished getting dressed and eating breakfast, and beginning a new day.
Oh. Morning.
Morning.
Oh, what's the plan today?
Good morning.
I was curious. I got a new weapon from Patches, the little shit.
Oh, you want to test it
And I
out?
was wondering if you could maybe enhance it a little bit.
Oh. Like, are we spending the day doing that? Because that's going to take me a while.
No, I was just seeing if you could just kind of look at
it. Sure. Can I see it?
Yeah. It's,
I spend 10 minutes casting Identify first before anything else.
Okay.
It's
What is it?
It's not a magic item. God, I don't remember what the weapon was, and I fucked the fuck up and forgot to actually check on that stuff.
It's like those swords, like they're like glove swords.
Glove swords? Oh, like they go from Street Fighter?
Tiger claws.
Guitar?
Tiger claws.
Oh, okay. So not a single one. Okay.
Now I remember they were tiger claws. A punching weapon.
Maybe. Wrath spend some time looking at them and looking at his own claws. Do they deal about the same amount of damage, like D4's worth of damage?
D6 slashing damage.
Okay.
And for monks, it basically increases their damage die one step in the monk chain.
Okay. Oh, can we mark down a long rest? I
Yes.
just realized you said we were waking up.
Oh, actually, you just had that fight at the end of your long rest, so no, you should be right where you are.
Okay. Gotcha. Perfect. Okay. Well, I mean, what do you want them to do? They're pretty solid already.
I was just saying if you had any ideas.
I mean, my mind's full of ideas, but that's ideas that I come up with, for me. My style isn't necessarily yours. What would you like them to do?
Okay, I found the weapon that more or less is what you wanted to do, and that's a dagger of venom.
Yeah.
Take away the +1 bonus, so it just deals the poison damage. That's what we'll do to apply that to the tiger claws as a rare weapon.
So, do you want them to excrete poison? I mean, we can put like little glands, but Captain's probably better with that. If you want them enchanted, well, I'll probably need a new spell for that. I don't know how to summon poison very easily.
Quick chat with the captain. In place of a spell, if you could produce a potent enough poison, you could use that as the base for the enchantment instead of a spell. But you'd still have to craft a potent poison.
It's your choice which route you want to go, really.
So it's
Your choices are either you can, kind of like a gun, you load it with a poison vial and it'll excrete poison, or you can have it enchanted to just produce poison. One is significantly easier, but more expensive in the long run, and that's the injecting.
Yeah, I kind of like the injection, even though it's more challenging. But in our free time, I'm wondering if you could do it.
Well, I'm sure Captain could do it. You see, on the boats, we had some shady type that we would sail from here to there. I got a good look at some of their poison daggers, if you will. There's this inlaid piece of cotton that they kept on the blade that they kept soaked in the poison. That way, whenever it would come out of the sheath, it would be there and ready.
So, you think you can do it?
Oh, I can't, no. I'm
Captain,
sorry, I'm not...
Captain would have to do that.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that's something he could do. I don't know how long it would take, necessarily.
Alright, well. How long will it take, Captain?
Somebody roll a d20 while I go check out his stat for the roll modifier.
13. My lucky number.
Neat. That should be more than enough, given that this is a proficiency roll with intelligence. So, yeah, 19. He's got a decent idea of how long it would take. He'd essentially have to reforge all 3 blades on each glove, which would probably take him about 45 minutes to an hour per blade. So it's a solid 5 to 6 hours of work. Might take him a couple days in the downtime.
Okay. So if we do the easier route, can I use them and then...
Well, that's the easier route. That is the easier route.
Yeah, otherwise I'm learning a poison spell and then trying to apply it in a enchantment. Are we waiting around for that to get done, or are we?
No.
We gonna get some progress in today?
Yeah, we're getting progress in. No, that's just on his downtime.
Hey, Pius, I'm glad you caught up.
Yes, sleeping over 300 feet away is quite agonizing. I am so lonely.
It gets lonely without you.
I'm just going around to give him a hug.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Twilight. I won't kill you today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Not yet.
Hermit lets out a little chuckle.
I'm just kidding.
It's okay.
He gives her head pats.
I remember just a few weeks ago when you kept saying that to me too.
Yeah. Well, you deserve it.
I'm starting to believe I didn't, honestly, but,
Yes,
I can understand where you were coming from.
spells, so there's that. You're getting better at helping the party. You go, you little champ.
Well, I've also learned to control Deuce a little bit. He's quite erratic. I don't think you all understand how close to the line of murdering you all we are. But I have kept him at bay.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Anyway, I hope you all slept well and sleep well from now on after learning that information.
Stare.
As you stare, Tempest, as you stare, and why did it not update your name from Scarlet? Anyways, I'm gonna fix that while I say this. As Tempest, as Pius says that, and you stare, you see the same wispy blackness that you've seen before. More like a memory than an actual overlay at the moment.
No, looking at the ground. I think I ate too much penguin. My head hurts.
So with the cooking process, the penguin was not cookable. As soon as he attempted to carve up the penguins, they just dissipated into a black mist. The penguins are gone. No trace of them left.
Oh, it never made it back. I tried eating on that dude beforehand when I decapitated him.
Oh, yeah, no. It just poofed. It just puffed when you tried. Kind of like an item in like an RPG when its durability reaches 0, it just kind of poof, and it's gone.
Okay, nervous cookie. Pius, you concern me.
What do you mean?
Sometimes I look at you and I just see weird things.
Well, I am an anomaly in this universe? Timeline? Something.
That reminds me, didn't we find those people who worked for the CSP Foundation? Didn't they work with anomalies or whatever?
Yes.
We met them briefly, yeah.
I want to go to the future.
Well, we'll get there right now. And then right now. And now. It is always the future.
Okay, he's broken. I think he needs a reset.
No, I'm just in a really good mood.
Wrath starts walking off at this point. Well,
okay.
While that's true, you can also, and he's going to debate present tense to future tense with you about how the present could be the quality of just this small bubble of time for him.
Well, actually...
It hurts! We woke up and everyone's saying big things.
As you travel, you discuss the existential crisis that is time versus space versus time, present, past, future, all of those fun little logistics. But Pius, on that note, since you are having that debate, I want you to roll an Arcana check.
I'm doing it.
Can I aid since I'm having the discussion with him?
Yeah, we can say you have.
Proficient in Arcana?
we can say Pius has advantage on the roll.
Hell yeah. That's a 14.
That's a 14.
Yeah.
As you're having this discussion and traveling, you can't recall where or when, but you're very, very sure that you've had a few discussions like this before with people you consider your friends.
Deja vu.
Well, that's a whole different topic, Pius, but we can get into that too.
No, I just experienced it.
No. Do tell.
Weird. I've possibly had this conversation before.
With us, and Wrath looks to the rest of the group.
No, someone else. Possibly colleagues of my previous life. Oh, this whole time thing is very weird.
Quite
I don't
wibbly
know.
wobbly.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get used to it.
I'm not so sure anyone is meant to.
So, Pius, this doesn't require a roll, but you kind of get a quick flashback of Dr. Druidar just kind of laughing, being like, time's just a wibbly wobbly ball of mess, isn't it? Just Rat saying
Yes,
that kind of
it
brought
is.
this memory back.
Yes, it is, Dr. Drew. Oh,
Storm scale, thank you.
right.
Maybe I will. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
He was going to say, maybe I will invest in some schooling at some point.
Well, I mean, when you're immortal, I mean, you know,
Right. It's got me thinking about a lot like that.
You've got nothing but time.
That's true.
Are there any wavy anomalies around that I can see in time space?
Roll a perception with disadvantage, DC 20.
Ooh. Time for my nat 20 of the week.
Let's go.
Come
You
on.
nat 20 with disadvantage, that's impressive stuff.
I've only seen it once.
15 ain't bad.
Yeah, your higher was 18. Doesn't meet the mark for 20, though. That sense of deja vu just continues to linger, but otherwise you don't notice anything out of place.
Okay. Well, he's going to continue talking about time and space with Wrath then.
You're a good 4 hours into the day, as you've more or less exhausted the conversation by this point. The snow's been coming down since a few minutes after you beat the penguins. Another like 4 or 5 inches.
As a note, the snow within 20 feet of me in a sphere freezes in place as I walk through it.
Oh, shit. So it's real crunchy.
Mm-hmm.
Very crunchy snow.
This is because of Storm Guide. Just a heads up. Just
Okay. What does Storm Guide do exactly?
I have the ability to subtly control the weather around me. Within a 20-foot radius, I can cause rain to stop falling. I can change the direction of the wind. I can.
So basically, you guys have a little bubble that's surrounding all of you that's making it more or less nice weather. You can see the snow coming down and then just kind of like go sideways away from you, and you don't feel any type of breeze in the area either.
As a note, the wind direction is always at our back, within a 100-foot radius centered on me. Unless I say otherwise.
Hell yeah.
And Captain has been updated on the PNG tube. Hello, Captain. Welcome back. Just so you know, there was a little bit
you
of...
didn't hear the most heartbreaking thing, Captain.
Yeah, so we've got a few things, and I'll end with the heartbreaking thing for Captain. So, first, Captain.
Oh, good.
Tempest, I don't know if you've brought it up yet, or if you're waiting to see if he showed up. There was more of a reminder that Tempest heard Shadowbeak say 2 words, Kraken and Immortal. Second, Twilight bought a pair of tiger claws from the Patches. There's no "the" in his name. And Patches, from Patches, and she wants it so that they do poison stuff. And you figure it would probably take you about like 5 to 6 hours of work, because you'd have to reforge the blades on the gloves to essentially have like a cotton line in them that's soaked in poison and such to deal it with attacks. And last, the sad part is, as soon as you tried to carve up the penguins, or Tempest tried to take a bite out of Shadowbeak, their bodies just kind of poofed into black smoke. Kind of like in an RPG, when it reaches 0, it just kind of puffs and disappears.
Gotcha.
And that is the sad part. But on that, Tempest, are you going to bring up what Shadowbeak had to say at any point?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm mentioning that along the way.
Around the time Captain seems to be paying attention.
Yeah, all nonchalant as if it wasn't important.
What do you say, though?
It's like, I'm describing the whole fight that I don't remember very well, DM, and then I'll, like, drop that at the very end.
Mentioning how she was being attacked, she finally noticed Shadowbeak out behind her, and when she charged him and started tearing him apart, heard his dying breaths, Kraken and Immortal. And then she tried to eat it, and it puffed and disappeared.
What do you know about that?
Nothing good with the Kraken.
At this point,
Self-immortal.
At this point, the wind has shifted, and it is now dividing the party between Wrath and Tempest. What do you know about it?
Huh? That thing?
Either.
I don't know shit, I'm just sad it disappeared. I don't do ocean things, so I don't know any of that.
If it's a Kraken, then it's the one I know. The one that decided to join with the penguins, the boss's leader. And if it's me, it's self-immortal. Yeah.
I mean, any kraken isn't good news, right?
Hey, that's true. Oh, good news. I've
Wrath,
seen it pull down plenty of the ship.
Wrath, give me a straight intelligence roll real quick as they continue their conversation.
Ooh, 19.
19. As they're talking about it, as happens from time to time, you kind of have that traumatic flashback to the day you lost your family and crew. And you...
Oh yeah, I was already there.
Yeah, and you do remember kind of a line that went a little more under the radar through all of it, because it kind of happened before the fight in total, but after shit started going sideways, where Davy was muttering about into the Kraken's lair, immortality shall be ours.
Wrath kind of... The wind dies down, and once again is at our back. And the snow, instead of freezing in the air, falls as normal. Wrath looks over at Captain. Why were you around a Kraken? I heard the stories. I didn't believe them. It makes sense now. But what were you doing there?
Hey, remember when I was back in the icebergs? I told you about that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Hey, going around fishing with me crew. But this time, we were delivering something. We were never told what. But something came out of the water that day. And that's when we started having to fight these giant tentacles that came out. And that's where the penguins came. That's how I decided they'd become me enemies every day since.
And don't forget, that's also when you made your deal with the dragon turtle.
Aye, that do.
The one that you've all met, by the way.
But what were you delivering? What cargo? Who paid you to do it?
I never got around to that. All I saw were initials. NG.
NG.
Captain, before we continue, because I don't think this was something we ever discussed, do you actually have an idea about what NG stands for, or do I get creative directive on this one?
You have creative directive on this one.
Okay, then we won't bother revealing at the moment. That'll come up later with more of your story.
You know anything else about Krakens, Captain? Other than that?
They taste wonderful with butter. And they're really, really hard to hit.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. The day my ship went down, I heard some mutterings about a Kraken's lair. About being able to attain immortality.
Did it have anything to do with possibly going inside the lair?
Seemed to.
Err.
Have you heard anything about what's in there?
Only whisperings, rumors, nothing concrete.
Wrath looks to the rest of the group. Anyone have anything to add?
Not really. I'm unfamiliar with the ocean.
I mean, I could.
You were frozen in the ocean for quite some
I was.
time.
I was an ice cube.
Do you have any memories, any flashes, maybe, of consciousness during that time?
Kind of a blur.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, bits and pieces are coming back. But nothing like a whole
Memory?
a whole memory.
Well, whatever it is, I'm sure we'll deal with it at some point. Like I've said before, our history seems to be etched upon this road.
You're not wrong.
And we can continue traveling.
Alrighty. Okay, now, there.
So I'm gonna change out my one of my spells.
Okay.
What does guidance do?
Wrath, you want to check that one for me real quick?
It is.
It says you can touch a willing creature and choose a skill. What
So whenever somebody goes to make a skill check, such as acrobatics, arcana, deception, persuasion, You can touch them. It is a touch spell, so you have to touch them. And you can give them an additional 1d4 on their roll as an action.
Is that a what level spell is that? First?
First, it's a cantrip.
Oh, it's a cantrip. You can't change out for cantrips, Twilight.
I could cast out spells. What the hell? That's injustice. Well, I have been doing it, because
You haven't been
I-
switching out cantrips. You just learned a new cantrip recently.
Oh, 'cause
You can only switch out level 1 and higher spells. Or other level 1 and higher spells.
No, because I took out Frostbite last week.
You shouldn't have taken out Frostbite.
And then I put it as,
I knew you were switching spells. I didn't know you were taking away Frostbite. Can't change your cantrips. We've told you that almost every session for, like, months. You can only change level 1 and higher spells.
then... My bad.
Okay.
Oh,
That-
that was the flame blade. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. Okay. Give me a... Alright, I'll let you know which spell I want. Give
Okay.
me a second.
So, as you continue walking, a couple more hours have passed, and as you're walking, you're trying to keep aware of everything around you. And you realize you're walking down a very sterile white hallway, side by side with a cloaked turtle. And she's currently saying something about how weird the concept of time is. And that she can't believe Dr. Rythal is actually trying to make a time machine.
You said I'm walking down a hallway with the turtle?
Yes, you're walking down a sterile white hall with doors about every 20 feet or so.
Is he imagining this?
No, he's not imagining this.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah, but it's just fucking weird. Like, really? Travel through time? I mean, just think of the ramifications. Imagine you went back, like, 7,000 years or something, and you get in this big fight, and now someone in a bar dies, and you just killed, like, a quarter of a country because they were the ones that saved it in their time, you know? There's all these wars all the time. Imagine the consequences of just killing one person if you did that.
Or what if you save an entire country by killing someone?
I mean, that's fair, but how do you know what's going to happen? It's just absurd.
I believe there is a method to his madness.
I'm sure you're right, but I don't know, shit's just been wonky ever since I joined the MTF squad.
I'm sure. But hey, I mean, as long as maybe some good will come of it. I hope.
You know, Amy, you're a good friend. Honestly, that's why I like having these talks. You help calm me down.
Well, aren't you lucky?
Yeah, I guess at least everything hasn't been bad since I joined, right?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's ever perfect. Especially working for a big corporation such as this.
Corporation. God. You know, before all this, I had a real bone to pick with the corpos. To be honest, I kind of wish the Foundation acted more like the corpos. Some of the shit they do here just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, everyone has their own view on life. For instance, I like books, whereas some people might watch TV instead. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm terrible at this.
I don't really understand, but I don't understand a lot of stuff. Like, God, every time that the doctor goes off on his tangents, I don't understand half the crap he's saying. To be honest, he sounds like he's been pretty worried the project's gonna fail. It's kind of what got me in the position to start this conversation.
Yeah. I've always questioned that too. It feels like they're there, but they're not at the same time.
What do you think will happen if it doesn't go right? I mean, most tech just kind of like short circuits, maybe catches fire. But the doctor, he's acting like he could break reality if this goes wrong. Seems a bit much for a piece of tech not working, you know?
Yeah, I feel like a fire is probably best case scenario.
Huh. Well, that's not very reassuring if that's the best case scenario.
Well, it's more likely to happen just because I've seen kind of how it works and the cables and devices that are attached to it.
She kind of stops in this hallway. It's like, scene. He's barely even started. God, he's barely even started building it. Cables and everything else. He's still building the shell of the box. What do you mean, scene? Does this have to do with the weird shit all of the rest of us have been experiencing out on our missions? Like, seeing just like holes in reality, ancient heroes and the battles they fought? Are you seeing the future instead of the past?
No, it's much worse than that. I'm living it in the past.
You're not Amy, are you?
In a way, I am. It's hard to explain, because I am not entirely sure what it means. But does the name Pius ring any bells for you?
Not really. Me. So you're Pius.
And Amy.
Huh. We keep seeing the past. You're living the past. Did you ever... have you been traveling with Jack and Rara? Or what about Wrath and Tempest?
Those two, yes. Wrath and Tempest.
And you notice much better in the actual conversation, that moment between like Rara and Jack, Wrath and Tempest, seems to just be static, whatever she said in between those. So you're telling me you're traveling with Wrath and Tempest, like, right now? That doesn't make sense. We're literally here in the Foundation right now.
I know. Things don't always make sense. You'll come to learn that.
You know, when I was a kid, before I could see how complex this world was, how corrupt this world was, I always wished my life was some kind of fairy tale, traveling with heroes and slaying monsters and all of that, but you know, I'd given it up. And being here just made it seem even less reasonable. But maybe it's not.
Yeah, the reason I've seen the time machine is because it does malfunction. And that's why I'm in the past.
It's just... that's a lot.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw all of this on you. I'm just searching for answers myself. And I figured I would take a shot.
Well, do you know what goes wrong?
No. I would imagine that it has something to do with the fragments.
The hope fragments or the torment fragments?
Not sure. Possibly more torment than needed.
Huh.
Either way, it pulled me and 2 other people into it. That's the only thing I remember. And they're dead.
Well, I guess next time I see the doctor, I try to tell him. Unless, of course, you're still here with me. And you can tell the doctor yourself, because, God, I don't know if I can say it in a way that's going to make sense to him.
Well, I don't get these chances very often. But the next time I get the chance, I will talk to the doctor if I can. But if I don't, then maybe you should talk to him. Tell him everything I said.
Yeah, I'll try. By the way, you told me your name. I'm Chocolate Thunder, by the way.
Oh, that's an interesting name. I love it, though.
And never was a fan of my government name. Stupid, edgy teenager me. Unfortunately, it's the moniker that stuck, so now I just keep going by it.
Can I call you CT for short?
Whatever you want, friend.
Cool.
Um,
Do you have any information on Amy at all? She's kind of in my head.
I mean, first of all, he.
Oh yeah, that's right. My apologies.
I mean, not really. Most of the time, he's almost like a kid. Doesn't seem to know much about the world. Always looking at it through these optimistic eyes. As far as his past, I guess the Foundation just found him standing outside the door one day. Went over him and found inscribed a plate on his back, property of SCP Foundation. So they just kind of took him.
That's concerning.
Yeah, we definitely see weirder shit here on a daily basis. And she kind of like points up to the door she's right next to, and you see the number above it is 426. And your memory banks kind of kick in and process, and you remember that 426 is an anomaly called I Am Toaster.
Oh. Yes, the toaster.
Chocolate Thunder kind of puts her hands behind her head, clasps her fingers, and starts walking again down the hallway.
I'll follow her.
Back over to everyone else real quick. So you're about 6 hours of travel in, and as you're walking, Pius suddenly goes from like closer to the back of the line where he normally is, up towards the front, and you notice that his lights have changed color to black.
You good up there, Pius?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Breath
Does
gives sideways looks to everyone else.
doesn't sound like Pius.
Sure.
Sus.
Okay.
Speak again, Pius.
First of all, there is the robot filter on it. I just don't want to crash my computer trying to change it.
Oh, well,
But you're like, speak again, Pius. And you're just like, wow, you really are annoying.
Seems alright to me.
Hi.
Damn.
Just stay on your guard, y'all. Wrath will just keep an eye on him.
Okay.
I changed my spell
Okay.
from the I'm going for the beast bond.
Which spell did you remove?
Sorry, my thing's acting up. Technical difficulties.
Oh no, it wouldn't be an episode of Dungeons and Moogles without Scuff.
I know. I didn't technically remove one because it's like Let's see. Locate creature?
Okay.
Actually, no, wait. Let's do the fire blade.
Alrighty then. So you all get about like 2 more hours of travel in. Pius has been keeping roughly a 30-foot lead on the entire party this whole time. He's walking in a very like militaristic way, almost more like a march than just walking. And Pius, as you start walking down this hallway, you notice that you're walking through the forest again, and all of you see his lights just change back to blue.
You good up there?
Oh. Yes?
Poke.
You are hesitating, Pius.
I am also seeing things. Possibly memories or...
Do you need a break?
No. I need answers.
Hey, we all need answers.
Right.
But I'm okay. Why? Was I acting weird?
Your lights changed color again. They were black this time.
Black?
Switching.
That's new. Were they pink or purple last time?
Black.
They were pink
Well,
previously. When
black.
Amy was in control, they turned pink. The same way
So
they
who's
do
the color-
when Pius uses Eldritch Blast.
So who's the color black?
You tell us.
Well, fuck if I know.
Is it your inner edgy self?
Oh no.
I bet they listen to tons of Breaking Benjamin.
Mm-hmm. It's okay, Pius. I went through a similar phase years ago.
No, it does. It's on constant repeat. Every single goddamn album. I mean, it's growing on me, but...
Oh god, you sound like my uncle more and more.
That would be horrible just to listen to Green Day all day long.
Oh, yeah,
Breaking
no,
Benjamin,
it's
Green Day, Seether, Red, they're all canon now. As ye oldie bards.
Pius, when did you start wearing sandals?
What? Oh.
Those are
Fuck you,
mine!
Tempest. I am on edge right now, and you are all not taking this very seriously.
Can I have those back?
We're just happy to have you back, my friend.
Well, yeah, I'm sort of glad to be back. I feel like I was close to something, but... who knows?
What do you think triggered it?
Could have been anything. Maybe talking about the tiny whiny shit.
It was my hug. It triggered.
Well, that triggered something else.
Do you need another
No,
one?
I'm just kidding. I don't have
Here,
one of
come here.
those.
I'll give you a hug. Come here. Bring it in.
Taking a step away.
She's glomping you faster than you can react.
Okay, yes.
All better.
Thank you.
No, that didn't happen. Where's the... I had a good sound for that, but it's gone. Whatever.
So it's about 5 p.m. You'll have been traveling for 8 hours already. The snow's still coming down light. Pius, the temperature's down to about 10 degrees right now, Fahrenheit. But it's been a pretty peaceful day. You're not like super tired or worn out from it. Maybe a little mentally for Pius.
Yeah, Pius is pretty... Because if nobody else talks to him the entire traveling after all that...
So that was...
he's
we're
stuck in his
sitting at the end of the conversation as you were just having it. That's the 8 hour mark.
Okay.
Well, Twilight did say maybe we should rest. I think that might not be the worst idea.
I didn't mean for all of us. I thought Pius could use a little sit down for a second.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We might as well just spend the evening at this point, right?
Hey.
We're slacking again. Okay.
What do you mean? We're well above what we should be for how far we are.
Yes,
Stop
we've
and
made progress.
Stop and rest. I gotta go to the bathroom.
There's woods right there.
Yes, I'm sure there's plenty of bushes over there.
Especially that one there, that's definitely not poison ivy.
Yes, sit directly on that one. It cushions your tuchus.
Thank you. Thank you. It's being sarcastic, but okay, thanks. If I need a bushel.
Yeah, and Twilight would definitely know if something was poison ivy. I would hope.
Yeah.
You would think
As
so.
a druid, yeah.
It's possible she might misidentify it because she's just not paying due attention. But yeah,
No, I probably would know that it's poison ivy or poison oak or. Oh, look, a little rose.
Since we're taking a moment, Twilight, do you mind if I get a good berry?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. And he'll pop the good berry in his mouth and set up the fortress. Are we taking a long rest, Joe? Question mark.
Yes, that means I have to go away. I'll be back later.
I mean, you guys essentially. Let's see. You got up at 8 a.m. You go to bed at like midnight. So that would give you 7 hours of free time currently.
Damn.
Yeah, you only traveled for 8. That leaves 16 hours in the day. Beyond that.
I honestly think short.
Sure is.
I'm sure we have stories.
Sure.
Horrifying stories.
My childhood.
Oh god.
The pineapples.
Sorry, flashbacks.
This one time, when I was working with Acrid, I raised a father from the dead, and he ate his family.
That
Rat stares at you in stunned silence.
Well, what do you want me to do? I was evil.
Did you then raise the family?
Well, no, he ate them all. There was nothing left to raise.
He ate their bones and all?
Yes, you don't understand how strong my abilities were.
Oh.
Did you cast Revivify afterwards?
No, there were no body parts left.
this conversation derailed so quick.
Well, I thought we were telling stories. I don't have much left.
I mean, that's more of a story than what I can tell. I lived in a cave for hundreds of years.
See, that's boring. Mine at least had some drama.
I lived in ice. I was in an ice cube.
Okay, you're all just proving my point now.
Hey, living in an ice cube is not that boring.
Are you sure?
Well, yeah.
I watched a man eat his children. That is not boring in the slightest.
Well, I mean, you didn't help. Why didn't you help?
Because I was evil. I actually enjoyed it.
Oh, so you... Yeah. I can kind of see that in you, Pius, a little bit.
I should really never... What?
She's not getting it. She needs an example. Hands on.
Give us an example and write it in baby steps on how it actually happened from the moment.
So as you're kind of like having this conversation, and Pius has brought up this past with necromancy and such, you do notice that his lights seem to almost have like a slight black tint. They're a little darker than normal.
Okay, we're pissing him off. We're pissing him off.
No, I'm fine.
I don't think a hug would do it this time.
No. I think I've had enough hugs for today. I'm never telling any more stories. I realize where that...
Oh, please. We're just very intrigued.
Initially intending to let someone else use it, Wrath has absent-mindedly, in stunned silence, been puffing on the pipe of remembrance. This whole conversation derailed so hard, and he's just slack-jaw puffing on this thing.
You okay there, Raph?
No, I'm not sure that was okay.
I think I'll leave the stories up to everybody else from now on.
Oh, me next. Me next.
So as you've been puffing on the pipe of remembrance, and it starts to form a scene, you kind of expect to get what you got before with like you defeating the Kraken or that battle with Davy Jones. But this time, instead, you see a small version of Wrath, like a child, alongside another child. They're at like a merchant stand. There's various fruits and vegetables, and he's even got a few loaves of bread for sale. And the two of you are trying to steal from it. Wrath is getting the attention of the merchant, while the other child is trying to pilfer a few apples. And as the scene continues, though, you see the merchant start trying to give chase, but he's going after Wrath. And he trips, and he hits his head on the rock, and you kind of realize this is that scene that Lance saw while climbing the Nightmare Tower. And you can see the smoke blood pool kind of starting to drain out, and the guards begin to chase. And you see Wrath divert his path and start going more towards the guards as if to get their attention to let his friend escape. And then the scene kind of fades away, giving you a little more context as to how Wrath got caught when that happened and why. Because he was trying to protect his friend, who looked very emaciated and in dire need of sustenance.
Wow.
But that doesn't take up the full time of this scene, as it starts to transition again. You see a more adult Wrath aboard a cargo ship this time. And it seems like there's a storm brewing, and Wrath has gotten into a fight with this sailor. And as the fight kind of goes on, something seems to slip out of the pocket of this sailor. And as has happened with some of the other scenes, instead of the purple smoke, you see a purple crystal instead of that black smoke. And in the middle of this fight, Wrath ends up kicking it and knocking this crystal off the side of the ship. And that's when it comes to an end. Purple. And everything else is just this black smoke. The crystal itself is the only thing in color, as has happened with some of the other scenes with a torment fragment.
Say that again about the smoke and the crystal?
Wrath was fighting with another person and ended up knocking this crystal away from the sailor and into the water.
Into the fire? Or into the smoke?
Into the water of the scene. The scene is made of smoke. But the scene is him having a fight on a ship, and he kicked the crystal into the water of the scene. And those are the two new heroic deeds you see of Wrath's past as you're puffing on this pipe.
I didn't mean for that.
Oh, Wrath, how does that work?
Well, I was gonna see if any of you wanted to actually tell a story without telling a story, but I got so derailed. I'm so sorry.
Right.
Telling a story?
Well, you'd have to get another one. Unfortunately, it only works once a day.
No.
And of course, most of you have puffed on this pipe and seen scenes. Typically, it only shows like 1 or 2 scenes during its time, and it's known to produce the same scenes over and over because most people only have 1 or 2 deeds in their life that could be considered heroic. But Wrath has now seen 4 scenes from this.
I'm sorry. Tomorrow, though, for sure.
Sadness.
Well, at least we didn't see your father eating his family.
That's true.
That would be horrifying if the Pipe of Remembrance that shows heroic deeds showed that scene. How were you a hero?
In Barovia, it would.
Yeah.
Is there a pipe that does the opposite, that shows our worst things?
Oh,
can't
God,
hide it.
no.
Oh my god, I want to buy one if there is one.
You feel a tapping on your shoulder as you say this, Tempest.
Oh my god, please stop doing that.
Oh, come now. We've done so much business already.
You're here. That means it's real, right?
Of course. It's a simple matter to dig through a person's memories. You just have to adjust the magic to make it go.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
I'm already handing over the money.
You're already handing over the money. He's like,
I hope I have enough and it's not expensive, though.
oh yeah, it's, what's the Pipe of Remembrance, an uncommon?
No, it's just a wondrous item. It's a common wondrous item.
Holy shit.
It's a whopping 50 gold then. Like, it is cheap.
Yeah,
But-
I was handing the money over before Pius finished.
So you've got the pipe in your hand, and in response to you, Pius, about is it a good idea? Is it ever a good idea to look back on our past? You only have one way to go, and that's forward.
So what did Tempest just get? She got a pipe of
It's Pipe of Remembrance reversed. Like, it's still a Pipe of Remembrance, but the reverse tag is to let you know that it does your worst, your most villainous acts.
I want to puff on that one.
I'm doing it first. I gotta break it in.
I want to do both at the same time. Yeah.
Inhale.
I'd actually be curious to see how that transpires.
Yeah, I want to try it.
Tomorrow, we should definitely do that.
I'm gonna do it.
Try to puff both?
Yeah. I'm a smoker. I can do it. I can do it.
Well, I'm hitting mine now.
You have to puff on it for like multiple minutes, just as a heads up.
She is a smoker. She probably has the lung capacity for it.
I do.
You all sit there, and you've taken already like a couple of minutes here, and the smoke's, laying out the altered pipe of remembrance. And this is hilarious. Obviously, I didn't have this fucking prepared. But Tempest, I have a very clear note of a scene when you were a villain. And as you all see the smoke start to form a forest, Captain and Wrath, the two of you would recognize the type of trees. They only grow in one location, the Garden of Demons in the southwest portion of the Incendium Populous, which is the country you're currently at the northeast of.
So,
And
wait.
you see a young Tempest, maybe 12 or 13, running along with her Uncle Crow. And you can, the scene's slightly zoomed out, and you can see a young woman running from the two of them, holding a bundle of cloth that looks like an infant. And as they get closer, the woman trips, and the baby kind of takes a tumble out of her hands and bounces a few feet ahead of her. And while she's trying to get up, you suddenly see her fingers start to gnarl and twist in ways they shouldn't. Her knee cracks and bends the opposite direction, and you see branches start to crawl out of her body as she's torn apart and turns into this large tree. And Tempest, kind of ignoring what was happening, runs forward and picks up the baby. And her and her Uncle Crow start to walk back the way they came, leaving this tree alone with no investigation into it.
Out of curiosity, why would it be Wrath and Pius that knew about the tree and not me?
Wrath and Captain. And that it's mostly because of their days as
Okay.
sailors. Even though the closest city isn't a port town, that area is very well known amongst sailors because it is immediately to the west of the area is the largest Kraken's nest known in the world, and slightly north of that area is an area known as the Gateway to Hell.
Oh, okay.
Both of which reside in the water. So that's why the two of them are aware of this location, what the area kind of looks like and the such as well. It's an area that they know very well to avoid when they are sailing. So if they ever get lost and suddenly see these trees, they know they need to leave quickly.
Okay.
That was a good question, though, because I would not have thought to explain it.
Whoa, I forgot about that.
That was the mission you went on that got you your official title as a Blade of Kinehurst.
Did
Smoke's
that
not back.
actually, did that vision Tempest actually tell us about the werewolf, how you became?
No. She became a werewolf years before that, but that's up to her if she's going to tell that to you.
No, I was just thinking, because out of the game, we don't know that, so...
No, you simply saw a scene where essentially they collected a small infant from a woman running away with it. Looked like retrieving a kidnap victim, essentially. But somehow that's classified as a great deed of evil she's done.
I don't see the harm in it.
Who was she? Who was the kid?
The
Carla.
kid?
The baby's name was Rara Kinehurst, the heir to the Kinehurst throne for the family down to the south, not the main branch that you're heading to. And the woman's name was Lainey Bouchard, a servant to the household of the Kinehurst. She had been accused of kidnapping the heir and trying to run away with it. And that's why they were sent on the mission to retrieve the child.
Yeah, that. Pretty straightforward mission.
Did you ever get a motive? Something seems off. Why would a servant just think to kidnap one of the heirs? Were they looking for money?
I mean, we more or less gutted everything out. Didn't find much. What really mattered in the end is that we got it back.
I want you to roll me a D100, Tempest.
A D100?
Yes.
That's intense.
Because I just remembered a couple little eavesdropping people that sometimes are around.
Randomly, that I remember.
You know, one of which happens to be the uncle you went on this mission with.
48.
You all see a crow kind of dive towards the center of your group, and you see it turn into Crow, of course. And he looks very somber. Which Tempest, you've only seen him like this when he's like drunk and lamenting how terrible his life is, but that doesn't seem like the case right now.
It doesn't change that I lunge at him.
Well, of course. And he kind of like wraps an arm around you before he speaks. Lainey was that child's real mother. The same way Tempest is a bastard to the Kinehurst family. That's how she's my niece. I am a part of the noble family. She is a bastard to one of the servant families. Same goes for Lainey and Rare.
At this point, Wrath pulls out a large tankard, and you see it fill itself with amber liquor as he takes a drink. So, I'm assuming she tried to get the child out of the family.
Yeah, I mean, what mother wouldn't want to have their own child, to raise them as their own? That mission didn't sit right with me. I took the time to look into it after. What happened to Lainey wasn't fair. That pipe is right. That was an act of pure evil on our part.
So we messed up?
We did our jobs. There was no way we could have known. But yeah, we messed up. What we did wasn't right.
I understand. As a soldier, you must follow orders.
Yeah. That's how it is. Unfortunately.
Sadness.
You see him pull a flask from his hip, and as soon as he opens it, all of you can smell how potent the alcohol is as he takes a swig from it.
As he goes to put it to his lips, Wrath says, "You know she attuned to that dagger, right?"
What dagger?
The one you're all looking for.
He stops short of actually taking the swig because of this, and he looks down at you, Tempest. Show me it.
Okay. I pull it out.
He snatches it from your hand before you can kind of react and starts looking it over. How long have you had this?
It's been like a few weeks, right?
Yeah, it's been like... Oh, you joined the party like 3 days into their travel, and it's been 53 days, almost 2 whole months since then?
Yeah, it's been a few months.
He doesn't say anything, but he is white-knuckle gripping the handle of this dagger at this point. Just looking at it with fury in his eyes.
You can't take it. Give it back, please.
I already told Auntie that I would get it back safely. I would keep it in my possession for the travels.
Do you know why the family wants this?
It's an important heirloom to the Kinehurst, right?
It proves noble lineage.
It proves no what?
A Kinehurst with this dagger is recognized as the heir to the main branch of the family. Whoever gets their hands on it controls the Kinehurst.
Hey, congratulations, Tempest.
Yeah, congratulations on your new title.
You can see blood at this point dripping from his palm from how hard he is gripping this.
Oh, your wounds.
I tend for a quick snatch, be like, you are hurting yourself.
Give me a strength check.
I do sleight of hand check.
No, you have to take this thing out by force.
Gotcha.
That's how he's gripping it way too tight otherwise.
Can I knuckle
Do
sandwich
I
check?
roll for the
Can I steal the flask check?
Okay, if you're going for the flask, give me a sleight of hand.
25.
25, you are able to yank it back out of his hand.
17.
17 on sleight of hand. I need to roll the perception check for him real quick.
No.
Do I roll
Say I
for
do
the
it.
cure wounds?
You don't need to roll cure wounds.
But the poor thing is bleeding.
He's a
So
trained
you're hurting
soldier.
yourself.
It doesn't matter all that much to him. I do not Let's see. Let's see if he beats this 17. Come on, where's your stat block? Where's your stat block in all of this? Is it on the other phone? God damn it. I have half the Canehurst on one phone and the other half on a different one.
Rip.
Let's see. He got a 21 on the perception. So he just kind of lifts his arm up to the point where you can't reach it anymore because you're so short. And with that, and Tempest, your roll, you manage to grab it out of his arms. And you see him kind of like visibly relax instantly, and he just chugs his flask.
You're hurting yourself. Don't let the blade touch the wound.
Tempest, I'm going to let you make the choice about what to do with this. But I'm going to tell you right now that I was sent to watch you and make sure you did what you were supposed to. And if I found that dagger, I was supposed to kill whoever had it and return it to our branch of the family. Our Lord wants it returned to him, not the main branch.
But do you understand what it means if I were to return this back to the main family, right? Like, they would recognize me, right?
No, they wouldn't. They'd probably let you live. They'd probably let you join them for doing so. All you would be doing is securing their claim as the head of the family, or the head of the branches. And what I know it means is you could claim to be the head of the family. That's why I'm going to let you decide. At this moment, I recognize you as the head of the entirety of the Kinehurst. What you do with it will determine how everything goes after.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a lot of responsibility and definitely something worth sleeping on. And I turn into my four-legged furry form and run off into the darkness to be alone.
Damn.
Crow almost immediately, in response to this, ends up turning into a crow and flying off the opposite direction.
Yeah. And it smelled so good, too.
I think I'm
Well.
responsible for this. I'll go find her. And Wrath starts walking off after her.
Yeah, every
This
time the
time-
random rolls happen up to this point, Raven was the one around when the blade got drawn. Crow hadn't seen it yet. And you're not trying to be stealthy, are you, Tempest?
Just trying not to run into shit.
Wrath, what is your survival bonus?
+5.
Okay, no roll needed. You're able to track her down.
And I move slowly. Whenever she does stop, I give her time to be by herself before I impose anything.
At max, I'm going like 200 yards away. I'm not trying to leave everyone.
Fair enough. She is way faster than you. So you actually fall behind until she stops. And then, yeah, you give her the distance. Tempest, when you stop, though, what do you do? Since Wrath is an audience to this.
Step under a tree, go back to full human form since it's been a bit. And I kind of like take out my scythe in full form and kind of stare at my own reflection in the blade, essentially.
Okay.
Wrath kind of steps up about 50 feet away. Are you okay?
Did I put my faith in the wrong direction? Have I wasted all my time to this point?
Do we hear this, or
No.
do you come back, or?
No, they're still a distance away.
Where does your faith lie? If forget the blade, forget the mission, who would you follow blindly?
At the end of the day, the kind hearts, the family, it's all one thing, but like my own inner family, the people who are actually there, that's all that I would care about, all I follow in the end.
Yeah. That, and I imagine yourself, yeah.
Kinda.
Having that dagger doesn't mean you have to take control, it means you can.
Tempest, at this moment, you're kind of not quite repressed memories, but ones you don't like thinking about kind of are flooding back in this moment because it's kind of the source of the pain here. And like how the servant families are all treated. The fact that you've been trained for combat since you were 9 years old. Your mother is a maid and has been whipped on a regular basis. The fact that your father, her husband, passed away just a year ago from one of the most brutal beatings you've seen as punishment for overcooking salmon. Just slightly, not even burning it.
I guess things were pretty messed up as I was growing up, but it's easy to kind of look away from that, especially as a kid.
When it's all you know, it's all you know.
I mean, most kids learn to fight around 9 anyway, right?
Depends on who they're around, I think. For people like us, you do what you gotta do to survive. You know that dagger's evil, right? It will corrupt you one day if you keep it.
I know. The main family won't care in the end of the day. But if I were to turn my back on the main family, I probably wouldn't even see my uncle all that much at all. If at all. And I don't want to potentially start some kind of chaotic war between either side.
So that just leaves either taking them over or taking them out, I think.
There's my aunt. I'm sure she could add some clarity to this.
Speak to
I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if they would both be at the same place at the same time, but asking for something like that is next to impossible.
I take it they're not the aunt and uncle that are married. Either that or they really don't get along anymore.
Brother and sister, in case you need the reminder, Tempest.
Yeah, they are siblings.
And
That makes more sense.
yeah, and Raven defected a few years ago from your branch to the main family branch.
So choose a side or go rogue, and yeah.
Well, you've got us.
Yeah, that's true. Though I've only known you guys for like a couple of months at this point.
Yeah. I think we've seen enough of each other's bad sides to kind of have an inherent trust of at this point, wouldn't you say?
Fair, fair. I would trust most of you with my life at this point.
I already have. I don't see that changing.
I won't use the dagger from here on out, but I'm not going to make a decision yet.
I'm not asking you to even stop using the dagger. I just want you to be aware of the dangers that it holds. And if you ever need help with it, we're all here to back you up.
Of course. I think there is one more person I could talk to.
Who's that?
That'll be later, when we fall asleep, and I'm in my own head.
That's fair. At least come back. Sounds like we're getting a long rest after all.
Fair enough. Also, it's cold. Where'd my fur go?
Wrath makes the wind blow, like around them instead of on them.
Everyone else, you have somewhere around a half an hour time before they actually get back, so you can start your whatever you're going to do. Twilight, as a reminder, this is day 2 in your 6-day period for reading that book. You're only 9 hours of the 48. You've got a lot of reading to do still.
I have what? 9 hours?
Yeah, you've only read it for 9 hours out of the 48. You still have 37 hours of reading to do between today and the next 4 days.
Well, that's kind of what I was kind of doing already.
That's what you're going to do for your 7 hours of downtime? Just read the book?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Captain, what did you want to start doing for your downtime? Twilight has asked you to modify those claws.
You modifying the clause.
Okay. Give me not an intelligence, give me a dexterity plus proficiency.
That is going to be 16.
16. Alright, it is going to take you about 6 hours of work, but you can get it done tonight.
Yo ho, a bottle of
I hand you my Tinker to Pliny.
rum. Takes a big gulp from it. Ah,
Are we back yet?
I'm going to get what everyone else has started on first. That way you guys know what you see when you get back. Pius, how about
Cool.
you? What are you going to start working on for the night?
I don't know. I don't think there's anything else I really wanted to work on right now. Let me double check something real quick. Yeah, I don't. No, yeah, Pius is just going to go off 300 feet from the group and chill for now.
Alright. Yeah, so when the two of you get back, you see Twilight sitting there with a book, reading, which is really weird in contrast to her wild child nature. Captain's inside of the fortress currently with the pocket forge. And
oh, you hear
Pius is
random
just...
sailor tunes.
Yeah, and Pius is off a little bit of the way currently, just kind of sitting there.
Okay. This is chill for once.
Am I outside of the fortress or inside?
I mean, your choice, but presumably you'd be like next to a window or something, so you get good lighting, so they'll still see you reading.
I think I'm gonna go up to the tree. I'm gonna go up to a tree.
Okay.
I'm gonna fly.
And there aren't
Can I
any.
fly while I read?
You're probably gonna crash into something if you try to read while flying. Same as texting and driving, after all. But you can fly up there like pretty quickly. The trees aren't all that tall in this area.
Yeah, I'll go fly up to the top of the tree and start reading even more.
So she's sitting in a tree, which makes a little sense for her.
Hey, Wrath.
You.
It smells like Twilight, but she doesn't read. I'm convinced it's a mimic.
You know, maybe she'll learn something. I'm gonna go pray.
Pray we survive the night.
And he awkwardly backs away from Twilight and walks towards Pius.
Alright, so Tempest, what are you gonna do with your free time?
We still got a lot, don't we?
Yeah, you still have like 6.5 hours of free time.
I'm gonna go join those two. They're the livelier bunch.
Alright, so Wrath and Tempest, you walk over to Pius, and Pius, you see them coming over there.
Pius, I figured you could use a little bit of company. I wanted to do a little praying. Wanted to know if you wanted to join me.
Sure, I would love to.
Wonderful. And so you've seen Wrath begin the process of this full body tattoo that he's been working on, and he'll sit down and take out some tetracycline, and he'll start rubbing all of it and just humming a little bit as he does so. So what he intends to do is spend every spell slot that he has left, every sorcery point that he has left, his blade songs, everything.
Even his hit points down to 1?
If you'll allow it, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
He wants to create a storm for Risha. He wants to make a hurricane that they can sit in the eye of and enjoy.
Who is
Wrath, I need you to do some math for me. Add all the levels of your remaining spell slots, plus the number of sorcery points, plus your hit points down to 1.
Okay.
Add that all together. And if you have any plot points and you would like to spend them, count each plot point as 10 in this math.
Okay.
Is he doing this for all of us or just for him?
Technically just for him.
Well, for our group, I want all of us to be in this.
Oh hell, I'll give you my plot point.
No, yours can't be used in this. Only his.
Shit.
Okay, that is all of that. And then Blade songs. Do I count?
Blade
How do I
songs count as
that?
2 each. 2 per blade
Two
song.
each?
Yeah.
Okay. So 2, 4, 6. Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. Points. And sorcery points are
1 each.
2 each also? 1 each.
1 each, yeah. Just add them as a flat number for what they are.
Okay. That is... Can I throw in abilities from my staff? He's using everything at his disposal. Would it be possible to use the Thunderclap, Lightning Strike, and the Thunder and Lightning abilities that are once a day from the staff?
Yes, and of course count them as their spell levels. You have to burn the whole thing though if you're doing it.
Okay.
You can also burn your hit dice for the average number, so half plus 1 for each hit die.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's a lot of math. Holy shit.
So that
He is maximum overcasting currently.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I want to maximize overcast.
I mean, it leaves you near dead. You have 0 resources and 1 hit point.
But I'll get him back after a long rest, though, right?
Yeah,
We'll see.
yeah, but there's everything to deal with until that happens.
Yep.
Can we do that in combat?
Oh, Lord.
No. It takes time to gather that much. Well, I mean, technically you could, but the combat would need to go a solid, 5-6 rounds before you'd actually be able to unleash it.
Does anyone know what level Thunderclap is? That might just be a... Never mind. That's a cantrip. Okay. Oh, 170.
170. That is the radius of this hurricane. So it's 340 feet total across.
So Wrath, as he oils himself up, he begins dancing, and he pulls out 2 of the flame blades that we had taken from the volcano and ignites them. And as he's twirling about, you see runes start alighting on his body and then jump out as if lightning or clap as if thunder, and the whole atmosphere around us just starts to shift and mold as this storm begins to take place.
Ooh. Ah.
What the fuck are you doing, Raph?
Praying?
He's doing a nature. Let him work.
That doesn't look like praying.
Wrath, you can spot kind of out on the edge of the eye. You think you see Risha out there in the distance away. But just right on the edge of the eye.
Rish. And he'll start hobbling his way across the eye.
Pius, Tempest, what are you two doing since you're right here where the casting of Hurricane occurred?
Can we see what he spots?
No. You two do not spot it. Pius, you do not feel any of your various connections light up either.
I hold out the snack bag for Pius and just watch Wrath.
Ah, thank you.
He reaches in and pulls out a cog. It's like you throw like 3 or 4 spoons inside of a garbage disposal.
What are you eating?
A cog.
What the hell's a cog?
Just Google it. You'll know when you see it.
C-O-G?
Yeah.
Just gonna keep watching Wrath, though.
I'm gonna tie myself to a tree. Like the bottom branch of this. And, with my, rope.
I mean, go for it. You're in the eye of it, and it's not moving, so, you are completely safe. But you can absolutely tie yourself to the tree if you want. I don't think anyone else would complain. Wrath, you get over there. She hasn't moved. She hasn't made a motion to talk or anything like that. She's just watching you.
He kind of hobbles over and collapses onto a knee. I'm glad you came to witness. Thank you.
Of course. My domain is the wind, the storms, and this is the most powerful tribute anyone has ever paid me.
Thank you. That's high praise. The music is beautiful.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
I have to ask you something.
Yes?
The dagger. One of these heroes, they're gonna pick this one up too.
Yes. It has its place in the grand scheme of things.
I understand. Thank you. Again, please enjoy. And Wrath will bow his head and turn slowly to walk away. Doing his absolute best to maintain concentration on this storm.
So you don't need concentration for this. You feel the magic go off and it kind of just disconnects from you.
Okay.
And Tempest, Pius, the two of you can see him go over there, look like he's having a conversation, bows, and then turns and starts kind of hobbling back towards you.
I want to pull out a snack for him.
You pull out a roasted hare, like a piece of roasted hare, maybe a leg or something. Oh, delicious! Thank you.
I was hoping it would be
Do
bloody.
you have hairs in your mouth now?
It's roasted.
It's roasted.
Who's gonna tell?
I mean, you could roast it without skinning it, I mean.
It'll burn all the hair off usually.
Normally, but this is a magic bag, so it's whether you want hair or not.
No, it's like roasted.
Okay.
I'm disappointed it's not raw, but I'll lick my hand anyway.
It just saves me from having to breathe on it. And he just sticks it in his mouth and pulls out bone.
How do you get a bone out of a roasted hare?
Hair is in rabbit.
Okay, I was thinking the hair on the head. I was like, why would you eat that? But okay.
That would be mildly comical, honestly.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Anything further for your prayer? Any specific actions?
Make it rain!
No, not necessarily. He'll just enjoy, kind of just open his senses to the music of the magic around him.
Okay. Pius, how about you?
He's just enjoying the show.
Okay. Tempest, does this display elicit any type of action from you?
Wrath, I did some thinking.
I'm listening.
Yikes.
I wake up in the morning and sure, new start to my journey. Why can't I start that now? My uncle's always drinking and it always makes him feel better. I want to drink.
Huh. Alright. Well, first time for everything, I guess. And he starts
I mean,
digging through
technically
his-
she's had a shot of alcohol before. She's got the demon's blood buff.
Mhm.
But she's never really drank.
And he'll start digging through his bag before realizing, oh shit, I gave my tankard to Captain. I'm sure he'll have some alcohol.
Damn it. Onwards.
Tempest, you feel another tap on your shoulder.
No, my god, it's him again, isn't it?
Well, of course. I mean, you could do that, but I'd always be happy to sell you a bottle or three.
I'm not trying to be my uncle, Jesus Christ.
No one said you have to drink it all now.
Fair enough. Takes 3. We need to seriously get a bell for this guy.
So, what specifically do you want in terms of it? Like, if you have the money, you could pick up a bottle of Demon's Blood or Celestial Dew, or you could just get some vodka or some fine Dwarven ale, Dwarven Fire whiskey. There's a whole selection of magical alcohols you can choose from.
So, I'm not looking for anything with stats or bonuses or generic. If there's anything that focuses around, like, things happening mentally and shit, like, holy fuck.
I mean, alcohol is alcohol outside of those mechanical ones, so...
Fair enough. Alright. What do you guys recommend? I'm a newbie. I don't know.
Something strong to kick her ass so she wakes up. Unforgettable.
Do you also have a bat that I could like hit her with sometimes?
Hey! Just because I'm swinging in the tree doesn't mean that you can actually
So,
consider me a
so you're holding a 3. You ask, and you're just immediately holding a 3-foot foam bat, like a kid's play bat, but it's like full adult sized.
This plus alcohol? Oh yes. Wrath, I need something strong. What do we got? What do you think?
I don't know. What do you have on the top shelf?
Yeah, what's on the top? That one's colorful.
Well,
So
after taking a quick look at your finances, obviously you don't have enough to get the true top shelf, things like the Celestials do. But we
Damn.
do have a very fine, rich, elven wine. Goes for about 125 gold per bottle. It's got a smooth, almost woody texture and flavor to it.
Sounds like a winner to me.
I'm down.
Okay, so you spend the 125, and this isn't like a full handle a liter, it's only a half-liter bottle.
Whatever. We'll mix it with anything Captain might have. Shit. Fuck it. I have no responsibilities anymore. I'm being rebellious.
I don't know if you mix wine. That's not something I've ever tried to do.
Yeah, wine is generally a standalone drink, not really a mixer sort of thing.
Rebellious. I'm gonna start drinking the wine. I'm gonna start drinking it once we get inside.
You're gonna drink it just straight from the bottle?
Hell yeah.
If you... God damn it, why can't I remember off the top of my head how many shots there are? It should be in my notes. Give me a moment. Intoxicants. Alcohol. Come on, I should have that information in here. Measuring guide. There it is. The bottle is 25 shots worth. Of course, wines normally drink in 8-ounce glasses, so it's roughly 3 glasses of wine? I mean, 3 tall glasses of wine, but still. It's 6 glasses if you do the more connoisseur type amount. So, how much of it are you going to drink?
Shit, we're gonna shoot for 3 glasses worth.
The whole bottle?
Okay,
Yeah,
one glass at a time.
It's not
If
Boone's
Raph
Farm.
steps-
Don't just turn the bottle.
That's fine. If Raph steps in, I just turn the bottle upside down. Just.
So, Wrath, are you going to step in and kind of like pull it back at any point?
Yeah. This isn't Boone's Farm. Take it easy. One drink at a time.
And I'm trying to reach for it.
Wrath, I want you to give me a sleight of hand. That'll determine exactly how much of it she drinks. 10.
24.
Okay, 24. You catch her around a third of the bottle. So, with that,
No.
essentially 8 shots worth, the DC would start at 19, go up by 1 per shot to 27. I believe your con save's high enough to potentially pass. So give me a 8 Constitution saves, Tempest.
8 Constitution saves.
Goddamn.
Yes. You have a plus 10 on this.
So 80, 20 plus 10.
Yep, D20 plus 10. And we'll see just how shit-faced you get.
Oof, it started good. It got bad real quick. And then I rebounded.
Yeah, so you had...
Halfway through, you puke.
Ugh. Okay, I'm good.
So
I'm good.
you failed every save starting at the 4th one. Because that high 16 got you a 26, and the DC was 27 on the last one.
So my face is like glowing red. I am just like faded.
Oh yeah, your body feels very, very warm right now. Everything, you're seeing everything in double, and there's almost like this starry galaxy look to everything as well. And you hear what sounds like harmonious choir singing, like in the distance.
Everything looks pretty. The sounds in the distance are so nice.
And being from an elven family, you do recognize it. It's a very traditional elven song. Typically one sung in memorial to the dead.
Someone died.
I'm sorry?
That's nice. The music.
I listen. Do I hear anything?
Make a perception roll.
I'm petting Wrath's arm.
Yeah. Wrath, because of Blade's song, I'm giving you that chance.
Okay.
DC
I
is
rolled a 15.
you only rolled a 15. I was gonna say DC is 20 on it. So no, you feel like there's some type of magical song in place, but you can't actually hear it.
I think that's just the hurricane, Tempest. Are you sure?
I've never been more sure in my life about anything, ever at any point. You feel weird.
Come on, we need to get you some bread and cheese. What is...
The what? No, I'm not. I'm not hungry.
It'll soak up the alcohol, trust me.
I'm fine.
Wrath, you feel the tap on your shoulder this time. Do you want some aged cheddar, brie, possibly Munster? I have a fine selection.
Starts wandering away.
Wait, what kind of cheese do you like?
Jack and cheddar cheese, kind of like a Fiesta blend. That sounds kind of good.
Look, just give me a block of cheddar.
There's 2 Piuses. Oh my god.
So he hands
Wait,
you
where?
a 1 pound block of just really basic mild or like a medium cheddar, 1 copper.
Okay. And then walk back to Tempest.
Don't I get my Fiesta blend?
Yeah.
Fiesta.
Absolutely, he will happily hand you a bag of shredded Fiesta blend cheese, and it's got this cute. It's
okay.
I mean, it's hard given that Fiesta blend is generally a mix of multiple cheeses. So, but yeah, you get a bag, and it has a cute little picture of a dwarf smiling in front of a large wheel of cheese.
Hell yeah.
I just start eating it in handfuls.
So, the music tells you someone died. What does that mean? And he's like handing you cheese as he says this.
Handing me?
No, Tempest.
You're talking to Tempest, okay.
No. Someone funeral. That's a good cheese.
Like a dirge.
Bless you.
Make an roll intelligence with disadvantage, Tempest. The DC is 10, but you know intelligence is kind of not your forte, and it's disadvantage. So. Your lower roll was 10. You remember that the name of the song is actually Dirge of Cerberus.
Yeah, the Cerberus thing.
Servers. Interesting. Which way is the music coming from?
The perception.
All around you.
That way.
It's coming from all around.
I point left and up.
Above.
It's everywhere.
Oh. Huh. Interesting.
Where's Captain? He has things I want to try.
I think he's working on those weapons.
Oh, at some point, I'm doing. Is everyone like congregated more or less in the same room?
No.
Who's in the room with me?
So Twilight's at a tree. Wrath is right with you. Pius, did you follow her as she stumbled away, or did you just stay in your spot?
No. I didn't.
All
Because I
right.
need to be 300 feet from everybody before they take a long rest, so
All right.
I'm
And
keeping my distance.
Captain is kind of away from everybody, so it's just Tempest and Wrath then. Although I wouldn't say you're in a room, it's more like you're kind of in the middle of the snow, just shortly before the fortress itself.
Gotcha. I'm in like my furry, two-legged form,
Mhm.
and I'm just like taking things off, and I'm just like, I don't like no context. I'm just drunk rambling. Look at this. I don't get it. I'm fur from head to toe. What is the point of clothes? I don't even understand it right now.
You
Are you following me?
Yeah, added insulation.
she's getting naked furry woman.
You,
Maybe Pius has a better opinion of this. What?
Do you have, what's the word I'm looking for? You're not worried about everyone, just seeing you naked then?
If you, if you want me to take you seriously, you stop splitting into two and be clear and concise.
Tempest, you're nude.
No, I'm furry.
That's true.
Look, feel, and I grab his hand and put it on top of my head.
Yes.
See?
Fur. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I just need other people's opinions. Where are they?
Well, Captain's in his workshop, and Twilight's up a tree, and Pius is camping out.
Yep, all you hear is, singing from
Ting,
the workshop.
ting, ting.
I'm gonna grab my bottle and try to make my way up to Captain.
Yes, you do. All you would hear is just this song.
Give me a dexterity roll with disadvantage.
Okay.
I'm gathering her clothes, and did you is your backpack something that you removed in that instance?
Maybe it was really sloppy. There might have been a few things still attached to me.
Okay.
I mean, you definitely have the
whatever
Hope Fragment necklace and bracelet. Those are still on. Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever you removed, I'll just shove in your bag and bring with you.
Ah.
Give me a Constitution save with disadvantage, Tempest.
Okay.
Okay. So with that nat 1 and total 6 on your dexterity, you stumble through the door and you get over the staircase and you miss like the third step up and just kind of face plant, and it jars you even further than you already are. But you do not knock yourself out. At this point, you don't know which way's up, which way's down, left, right. You roll over on your back there at the bottom of the stairs on the bottom few steps, and you're just staring upward.
The fucking stairs punched me. And take a sip of the bottle.
Wrath has that. He kiped it from you before you could go any deeper.
Ah, you bitch.
What was that, Twilight?
How did he take the bottle from her?
Yeah, when she was chugging it, he, like, pulling it back, grabbed it out of her hand.
I thought she still had the bottle.
No.
Okay, I'm crawling up the stairs. It's safer. And I'm calling it names while I'm doing it.
Wrath, are you still following her? Doesn't take you long to gather up her stuff.
I definitely saw them reach out and punch you. You should definitely do that. They deserve it.
Yeah, fuck these stairs. The step, fuck the step.
You remember that you have a ring called the Ring of Fuck You.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I have to crawl. Let that thing flip them off for me.
She's literally walking up with a mage hand, just flipping off the stairs in front of her.
And yeah, I'll just follow her, leave her
I hear
things with her.
I hear the clinging. It's over here.
So yeah,
Wall.
you get up to the top of the steps, and like you see the light from the forge, and Captain, you can hear her cursing out the floor. She thinks she's being quiet and mumbling it to the floor, but she's practically screaming.
Hey, you interrupted me too. What you doing out there?
Last time you saw someone this drunk, it was like a 30-year-old dwarf, equivalent of a 15-year-old human.
Aye.
Captain!
Hey, what you want? That?
Challenge me.
Yeah. Challenge you to what?
I can outdrink you.
Oh boy.
You're definitely drunk.
Y'all might be taking an extra day of rest for Tempest to recover.
You don't want to fight me, right? Right.
Rebellious.
I'll take it on.
Hell yeah. My tail is wagging. Kinda. My tail looks drunk. That's how bad it is.
Okay. Captain, you have a selection of liquor you can pull out to do this.
I'm gonna drink.
Come on.
He's already been drinking already, so he's just gonna, pull out the bottle of vodka he still has.
Come on, Wrath. I know you can take it.
I'm the DD in this instance.
Okay, Captain. You gonna pull out shot
Designated
glasses
helper.
or actual cups? Are you gonna do shots or full glasses?
Full glasses.
All right.
All right.
So, each glass is 8 shots out of that bottle, then, for your inventory.
All right.
What am I doing?
Tempest, You cannot make a save. You are automatically failing all of them at this point.
Cool. Once this glass is done, I'm going to black out.
Yes, you are, actually. Because with this glass, you're passing a DC 30. You automatically pass out, and you have alcohol poisoning.
I'm foaming at the mouth a little bit.
Kind of. But Captain, you give me a Constitution save. Because you're taking like 8 shots at once. It is a poison, so you have advantage as a dwarf. But the DC is 20, or 17.
So I got my low was 16, and then you said I advantage rolled 24. So my high is 24 right now.
Okay. So at this point, you've got a good buzz going. It's going to take your full 7 hours to finish that. Because you're slowed down a little bit, but you still get the work done. Yeah, and you see Tempest slam it back and then go, "See, I can," and collapse, just face first into the floor, unconscious.
Camouflage just busts out laughing.
There is now a furry wolf on the floor.
Right.
So because of the way lycanthropy works, and you are knocked unconscious, you revert to your human form.
Okay.
So you have a naked 21-year-old girl passed out on the floor, drunk. She is full white girl wasted.
Yep, not the first time I've seen this.
Lord have mercy. I'll put her clothes back on that I shoved in her bag.
All right. It takes you a few minutes to put her clothes back on her, but
Right?
no, Wrath knows how to put clothes on a person, and Wrath definitely isn't prudish, so he's going to be looking and paying attention. He's dealt with far too many naked drunk people as a sailor.
And a barkeep.
Yeah, and a barkeep. The number of people who have ran out of the Drunken Dragon and just like streaked out into public is, well, it's greater than 0.
Now Tempest is going to have a nice long discussion in her thoughts overnight.
Yeah. So everyone is able to kind of, keep doing what they're doing, finish up, go to sleep for the night. And Wrath, this is where it kind of takes a little bit of a turn. Like, it's overall been a pretty good day after all the mayhem, but this is what you become accustomed to on the road, again. And Lance finds himself, once again, staring down this nightmare tower.
You're back sooner than I expected. Something must have happened to you today.
Yeah, you and me both.
Well then, the tower is going to become a bit more difficult at this point. Are you ready to begin?
Yeah, I think so. Let's do this.
Alright, so as you look at this first map, you notice that there's the path to the left. All of those solid black spaces are platforms that have already been pulled out, and they are blocks you cannot move. Whereas the white ones are essentially blocks you can pull out and maneuver to climb that way. The ones with the T's are trap blocks. When you step on them, they launch spikes upward rapidly. Not something you want to stand on unless you're sprinting across them. And those blocks that have the white border and black inside are trampoline blocks.
Okay.
As you're standing here for this first one, you get a glimpse of Wrath's past before you begin. And it starts where it left off, with Wrath stowed away on this ship and hiding behind some of the cargo boxes in the hold. And a face that Wrath knows all too well at this point, and you recognize it because of this. Davy Jones steps around and grabs Wrath by the back of his shirt and just picks him up, lifting him off the ground. And now you're back looking at this tower with your decision to be made. You can tell that going up that left side, you're going to have to get past that sheep there. Going up the center, you have to find a way past the trap block. And on the right, it does look like you have just a nice, easy up with no need to use any of the items you have. You have the choice about what items you want to use and which way you want to try to go.
So I'm going to use the bells on the trap blocks to go up the center.
Okay. So as you're going up the center, and you wave the first bell, you don't have to use both.
Okay.
The one bell just neutralizes both. And you climb up, you hit that trampoline, and you launch upward. And you get up onto the next main platform. the next map segment. And you get the remainder of the scene with Davy holding him up. You know, boy, you did well getting on the ship without getting our attention. You want to join our crew? And he sets Wrath down, and Wrath in this moment, realizing that he didn't have to really make the first effort, that apparently this captain actually wants him there, agrees and chooses to join the crew of the Stormrider. And you come back to, and you can see the layout for this one. The path to the left has a sheet, but you might be able to get around it if you're careful. More than likely, the best way you can tell would be to use some type of block to impede it, or like the energy drink to jump up past it. Those are the first two thoughts, at least, that come to mind. Going up the center path will still connect over to it, but you would definitely have to use an item to deal with the sheep if you go that route. And to the right, there don't seem to be any obstacles. There's just a gap that you would have to overcome. And as you kind of process what's in front of you, and you're about to get going, you get a little bit more of a flash. The next choice you are deciding. And Wrath is being taught how to, control the sails, use the ropes, tie the knots, all of the various little things that the crew does on their voyages. And now you are able to make your choice about how you want to go up.
If I use the Bible, would it knock all three sheep off, or I could go up the center?
Yes, it knocks out all of them in this area.
Okay, then yes, I would like to do that then.
Okay. So you start heading up that middle area, and you use the Bible as you're getting up there, and you just see these lightning strikes come down and hit them, flinging them off the side. And you reactionally kind of look the direction they go, and you see the black tentacles rise up from down below, grip them, and rip them down back into the darkness.
Kind of steel myself for a second, and then carry forward.
As you climb up on the platform, you get the remaining portion of this vision now. And Wrath's been having difficulty learning it. He ties knots, and they slip mid-voyage, or he's moving cargo and he drops it, having difficulty carrying it. And he runs off at one point in this maiden voyage of his with the Stormrider. And he decides to hide in that same little cargo hold space where Davy found him originally. Fighting back, how bad he feels that he's not good enough. He can't do this. He's going to let down the crew, the captain, that he's just going to be thrown away and be on his own all over again. And he doesn't know how to handle it, so he just tries to hide away instead of confronting the problem. As you pull yourself up onto the next platform, and you can see those three paths again. I'm not sure how well you can see it on the map, but there is, with those trap blocks, you can see that there is a cracked block. That's the one with the X through it. Those are cracked blocks. When you step on them, you have enough time to move past them generally, to be able to climb up. But it may be difficult with that left path to do so, because you're trying to pull the block out and then climb up on it at the same time. So you would need to find a way around that on the left. On the right, or on the center path, you'd have to figure out how to deal with all those trapped blocks. And on the right, you're pretty sure you can just get around that trap block by pulling those white blocks out in a kind of methodical way, slowing your progress to the top, but you should be safe to do so without using any type of item.
What I was thinking about doing is using the white block I have to make that methodical way even faster, to add on to what's already there.
Okay. So you're going to go up the right side and use a block to get around it.
Pretty much.
All right. you use it. It makes it much easier. You're not slowed down at all. You just beeline straight up to the top. And you get another flash into the choice being made here. Unlike the other two, you didn't really get an advanced, like, what are you affecting? But this time, you see Wrath approaching a young Nuri man, one you recognize from the last nightmare you traversed. It's Lance, the son of the merchant that you killed, that you just got a reminder of today with the Pipe of Remembrance.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems more concerned than anything. And he asks Wrath, what happened? I never saw you on the ship, and you just kind of disappeared during our conversation. You ran off. And Wrath kind of feebly gives a reply of, oh, I fell ill. I needed to find help right away. I thought I was going to die. And the people who helped me conscripted me to pay off my debt. And that's why I didn't join your crew.
Hmm.
And Lance kind of nods understandingly, and they part ways as Lance is like, well, I kind of gotta get going. Maybe we'll see each other again. Keep your chin up. And it comes back to it as you finish climbing up onto the fourth segment. And you get a chance to look at this again. You can tell that going up the left would require using something to get around the sheet. Up the right, the center path, there is a cracked block that makes it a little difficult, because you'd have to kind of go up that split on the right to move a white block, and then come back down past that cracked block that'll no longer be there, so you can go up the left side of the center path.
Hmm.
And then on the right, you see the two branching. One heads up to the trampoline that'll get you up there onto the platform. And the right side, you can tell that there's a trapped block in the middle of the platform that's already pulled out. And you get another flash into the decision you're making this time. You can tell it's right after that conversation with Lance as you return to the ship. And Davey notices the look on Wrath's face about this and begins to walk towards him and ask, what's wrong? Now you're left with the choice that you're going to make as you climb.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to use my bell to go up the left side then. My last bell.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. The bell does not do what I think it did. Hold on. Sorry.
The bell turns the weird blocks into elements. So you could go up the... You could go up the... Yeah. You could use that for the trap. You could also use it for that cracked block path, essentially.
Okay. Yeah, actually, we'll do that. We'll use the bell on the cracked block to go up the center.
Okay. So you use it, and you finish climbing up there. And as the scene goes back to Davey asking, Wrath replies that he had a reminder about something in his past he's not proud of. And he tells Davey the story about how him and his friend were trying to steal food, and the merchant died. But he leaves out everything about Lance, both meetings, and that entire portion of it. And Davey just pulls Wrath into a hug, doesn't say a word, just holds him. And you are back in the scene, climbing up onto the fifth and final portion of this. But you notice as you're going up, this one is much wider than the earlier areas. And how many choices is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that is ultimately 4 choices on how to get up. On the left, you notice there's a gap up that path that you'd have to overcome. Same with the one kind of in the center there, to the left side of center. To the right, that black block with the weird white thing in there is a set of ice blocks, and the moment you touch them, you'll kind of slide across, so you'd have to do something to quickly get yourself off of it the moment you start to slide. And on the right path is a... Wow, I put the wrong block there. I put a trampoline. I put a cracked block. It's a trampoline on the right.
Okay.
But it would immediately land on a trap when you get up there.
If I use an energy drink, does that mean I bypass the trap? Or does that not work with trampolines? Does it stack?
So the trampoline itself would launch 5, and you'd essentially have to hit the trap, slam the energy drink to immediately bounce up another 3. You're not sure if you could time that well enough to avoid the spikes.
Okay. Then I'll use the energy drink to go up the second path. Not far left, but second left.
Okay. Before you kind of make this decision in your mind, but before you can get into the action of it, you get another scene in your mind, the choice that you're ultimately making. The Storm Rider is sailing out. With a plan, they are setting a trap to ambush the SS Pineapple Beard. And their route, because the Pineapple Beard is going to be sailing through a very rocky area where it's easy to hide and attempt to ambush them. As they're waiting, though, a storm rolls in and begins to toss the ship around. And from the top mast, the scout up there mentions that he sees tentacles rising from the water in the distance. And now you have a chance to change the choice you are going to make at this moment.
Damn it, Captain. Shit.
Trying to figure out how each choice affects this next scene.
Thinking about it, yeah. Okay. Then I would like to attempt to go up the ice side then.
Okay. And how are
It all
you going
happened in
to
the ice,
deal, so to speak? How are you going to deal with the ice block?
I have no fucking clue.
My brain's not properly pulling up which items you still have on hand.
All I have is an energy drink, that's the thing.
Oof. You used the
Yeah.
white block, you used the Bible, yeah, all you've got is an energy drink.
Yeah.
You're not sure if you can manage that, but
Yeah, probably not.
seeing as, because none of those blocks are going to be pulled out, you'd kind of just launch up and not be able to get a hold of anything.
Yeah.
You can tell that the ice block path is not currently open to you because of the choices you've made up to this moment.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'll just continue up the path I was going then.
Okay.
The second one.
Alright. As you climb up at the top of this one, and you see the path that's going to lead to the platform where the confessional booth is, you get the flash of the rest of the scene with this Kraken. And at this point, the battle is already raging against the Kraken. Wrath is trying to help with the sails to keep the ship on course, as Davy's trying to steer through it. And he's focused on the job he's doing. He's doing everything he can to not make mistakes. And he doesn't notice as a tentacle leaps out and is coming straight down on him. Davy rushes from the steering and just barely manages to lunge and push Wrath out of the way, the tentacle slamming him into one of the masts. And in the moment, Wrath now notices as 2 of the other crewmates are also launched off of the ship. His face contorts with rage, with anger at his inadequacies, at the situation, and how he's just had no control over his life, and that there's nothing he can do as he is staring death in the face. And time seems to almost slow down as Wrath continues to move at what would be a normal pace for him, fast compared to everything else. Rushing. He gets back to Davy, and he seems like he's about to start asking a question as another tentacle launches out of the water in slow motion, coming back down at him. He throws his hands up as if he's hoping to block it this way. And time seems to slow even further just a foot away from his face, and electricity crackles up his arms and launches in a powerful singular surge, cleaving the tentacle from the Kraken's body. And its black acidic blood splashes across the entirety of the deck and several of his companions. He can see and hear the Kraken crying out, even from under the water, as it starts to pull away from the ship and leave. And time kind of resumes to its normal speed. The crew hurriedly trying to get the acid off of their body. And Davy shouting commands that they're going to head back to port and give up this raid on the SS Pineapple Beard. And you recognize this moment as the point from your Rat's backstory, as the moment that got the crew and the ship their name, the Kraken's Bane. The moment that Wrath's sorceress powers awakened through a combination of time magic and lightning. And the scene fades. And you're on this platform now, the confession booth in front of you.
I step in. Sit down. Well, what is it this time?
Why didn't you trust your father? He always did what he thought was best for you. Always tried to protect you. Why'd you betray him? At that last moment.
He threw it all away. He took everything that I had and tried to throw it away. It wasn't his.
Maybe someday you'll understand that he was doing what he thought was best for you. Maybe you'll learn the truth. And before you get a chance to respond, the confession booth rises, as it has so many times. And you awake with a jump the next morning. Everyone, you are rested up. It is the next day. Tempest, you have 2 levels of exhaustion even after sleeping, and you have alcohol poisoning. So the poisoned status condition stacked on top of 2 levels of exhaustion, and you are also disoriented. You have just the worst hangover possible.
I'm in pain.
Pius, you think she might? Yeah, Pius, you think she might have a concussion? On top of it all,
Might have a concussion?
yes, she's got a pretty nasty welt on the top of her head.
Why are you guys moving so much?
That's the sway in your body.
I thought we were on a boat. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm gonna sit down.
Just wait till this happens while you're on a boat.
Hey, but you get used to it, though.
I am a land wolf. I don't want to be on a boat.
You never know what the future holds.
Sorry.
I doubt there's an ocean at the top of this mountain.
Sorry, did you say she still has alcohol poisoning?
Yes, she definitely has alcohol poisoning with how much she drank, the way she's moving.
I look pale as shit.
Yes.
Tempest, come here. Let me help.
Okay.
Actually, don't move. Just stay where you're at.
It falls to the floor.
I'm going to cast lesser restoration on her.
Okay. That clears the alcohol poisoning, at the very least. So at least the nausea has gone away, and the body aches are not as bad as they were. You still don't feel very great. You're very tired, and your head does not feel good.
My head's still spinning. Thank you, Pius.
Well, this will help make the recovery process a lot quicker. And drink some goddamn water, you heathen.
All you just see is in the background, Camouflage just pull out the vodka. Yes, and water, I start drinking it.
Is that water?
No, that is
Yeah,
not
it
water.
is.
Do not drink anything that is called water by Captain Flowers.
Hey, but it is water.
Captain, shut the fuck up. It is not water. I know you. Here, Tempest.
And he hands her a water flask. An actual water flask.
All right.
Oh, thank you. It's good. Oh my god, I feel shriveled up. Oh, we can't travel. There's no way. I'm not gonna make it.
You're probably not wrong, honestly.
Yeah, Pius, you'd say it'll take a day, possibly two, for her to actually fully recover.
Well, for the meantime, you can ride on my back. I'll carry you.
Okay. That worked.
Alright. So y'all will be traveling at a slow pace instead of regular pace for the day. From the carrying.
That's fine. It's worth it.
Totally.
It's worth it. You get through the 8 hours of travel with not too many problems. Tempest has to take a bunch of extra breaks. It's not that you're actually moving slower from carrying Tempest, it's more that there's just a lot of extra time stopping for her to try to get her head straight, possibly vomit, that sort of thing. You get about 24 hours, 24 miles in for the day when you reach the 8-hour mark. It's about 5 p.m.
Anyone else hungry?
Yes.
No, give her meat, though, she'll throw it up.
I'll go get us some fresh game.
I will eat you, Captain.
You couldn't eat this.
Did I just stay up all night reading?
No, you did like 7 hours of reading, you went to bed, you got up the next morning. Yeah, so if you stop now, you'll have about 7 hours until the sleep. Until you have to, like, actually lay down to take your long rest. Or you could try to push it with Tempest in her state.
Let's push it. She deserves this. Let's push it.
Through the day, the snow also hasn't stopped. It's been going non-stop for close to 48 hours, but it is very slow. It's only dropped another like 6-7 inches or so. But it's been a dreary, overcast day.
Us in our little bubble of weather control.
Yes.
Oh, you missed that, Flowers. So I control the wind and the precipitation around us now.
Within like a 20-foot space, so just the party in particular.
Yeah, we're like a little bubble.
Pius, watch out for that pothole.
Which one? Oh dear. Oof.
Are we there yet?
Oh god, Peter Griffin! Robot Peter has arrived.
Oh no.
I'll go hunt us up something fresh for supper. We should probably rest.
Technically all of Captain's meat he has on hand is fresh. I don't know what he actually has.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know what he's gonna cook. And he has a lot of strange things in that pouch.
Oh, Captain? I don't know if you put it in your character sheet. I'm gonna go look at your inventory. Tempest did drag a whole ass deer a couple days ago, and you guys did not eat all of it.
That is true.
Ooh, venison?
Yeah, you only used about half of the venison.
Yes.
So the other half would be another day's food.
We have 14 pounds.
Yeah, actually, it's more than a day's food. In fact, since only 3 of you technically have to eat out of it, because Twilight's not going to eat it anyways.
Yeah.
Can I just get like a slab steak? Rare.
What are you going to cook up for Twilight, though? Or is she...
I'm having good berry.
Okay, she's just going to eat a good berry. She's not even going to wait for you to possibly cook up something vegetarian for her.
Yep, can't do that for her apparently.
As I'm glaring all of you down.
Make sure my piece is really bloody.
Just pulls it out of the bag. It's just bloody enough for you.
Yes,
That's it.
perfect.
We're walking you until you're exhausted, Temp.
Temp is already exhausted. So
I
exhausted she had 2 levels of it. Alright, yeah. You're able to cook up a nice, good meal with this, minus the slab of rare venison steak for Wrath.
Even better. Thank you, Captain. It was,
Hey, you'd be welcome.
that was deer, right?
Yes, it was deer.
Yeah.
Can confirm it was.
I know.
Twilight, you do have those tiger claws. You just lack the poison you would have to put in them. You'd have to buy it from Patches.
Oh god, I guess I'll have to cough the goddamn patches again.
Yeah, so essentially he can sell you vials that'll plug into the side, essentially. And when you plug them in, essentially it soaks through the cotton lining of it. And for 10 rounds, whenever you hit with it, the target's going to have to make a constitution save or be poisoned. It's not extra damage, but it is the poisoned condition, which gives them disadvantage on practically fucking everything, assuming they can be poisoned.
How much does it cost?
10 gold per cartridge.
And how many times do I need to refill it?
So if you put one in the cartridge, it uses the whole thing. So every time you decide to use one, it's just gone after that, regardless of the combat that occurs. So yeah, think about it as each time you want to use them for poison, you have to use a cartridge. How many times do you want to have on hand? How many do you want in your inventory?
Unlimited.
Well, a reasonable amount you can buy and carry.
Let's see.
How much gold do you want to spend? You have a bag of holding you can put them in.
Yeah. They're 10 gold each, and to be completely honest, you still have a shitload of money. I honestly, you're the one that has spent the absolute least out of everybody.
Yeah.
You can basically think about it as one cartridge is one battle worth of poison.
Plus, you said they're 10 each?
Yeah, 10 gold each.
Let's do 100. So
1,000 gold.
The other way around.
100 gold
10.
worth? Okay.
10 for 100.
Yep.
Okay. Alright. It's not like you can't buy more of them, but it just means that if you get caught in a dungeon and end up burning through 10, then you would have to wait till the dungeon's done. So, alright, you got 10 poison cartridges that you can use with the tiger claws. I'll have to finish adding in those stats later. But you all have 7 hours, well, 6 hours to do with as you please at this point, after the food.
Are we traveling still, or are we going to wait till Tempest feels a little bit better, which will probably be never?
Already pulled over.
We're gonna wait for a night.
No.
Hopefully she feels a bit better in the morning.
Hey, Tempest.
What?
Let's have a drinking contest.
Wrath waits for Tempest's response. Just watching.
Wait, where's my bottle?
But wait. I gotta do the hits first. May I take a hit of your did you buy the pipe? Was it the pipe?
Oh,
you
pipes.
Yes. May I have, because as I said yesterday, I want to take a hit of your pipe wrath and Tempest pipe as together. And then we can have our drinking contest. Boom!
Wrath pulls out the pipe and puts it as close to in the middle between Tempest and Twilight as he can. You mean this pipe?
Yeah. The
Tempest, are you also gonna offer up yours since she wants to hit both versions of the Pipe of Remembrance?
please.
Sure.
Oh, right.
Alrighty. So, you're hitting both of them. You're puffing. You see the smoke for both of them, pouring out, forming around. And as they, almost look like the smokes are going to coalesce, they seem to push away. And you can see this, defined 1 centimeter line down the middle between the two. So, one Pipe of Remembrance is smoke to the left, one's to the right. And as it forms a scene, you notice that they both seem to be forming the same scene, mirroring each other. As if this scene is both a heroic deed and a villainous one.
Nah.
But what you see form is a large open room, almost like a space underneath a castle. It's 100 feet by 100 feet, with this large altar at the back of the room to an individual you don't recognize. And at the bottom of it, there's a kind of 4-foot altar space at the foot of this massive statue. And kneeling on it, chained to the statue, is a figure clad in leather. And as you're watching it, you can tell that the scene is continuing because the figure is moving slightly. But that's all you see over the 5-minute period, as it slowly seems to become more static, like TV static, on both sides, becoming more and more static over 5 minutes, before finally the two sides slam together, turn into purple smoke, and burst outwards, clearing the scene.
That was cool. Let's try it again.
I'm pretty sure they have a cooldown on them.
Fuck, you're right. All right, Tempest, let's get our drinks. Let's go.
Did Tempest have her talk for her first sleep?
Oh yes, you got the chance to have that in a mostly coherent state, but it's only kind of vaguely coming back to you at the moment. You don't quite remember that conversation properly. Maybe another night's rest will help. Maybe you can even talk again and just get reminders and refreshers. But Wrath, this sticks out to you very much. This is supposed to be scenes from Twilight's past. You did not see Twilight in these scenes.
So the thing that I just saw was from my past and my future?
Allegedly, that's what these do, is show scenes from the past for the person who used them. But Wrath, you realize you did not see her in these visions. Or this singular vision.
Are these your memories, Twilight?
Twilight, you have no recollection of a scene like this ever in your life.
No, I really don't. I think the last thing I kind of remember was I was on ice skates and then I fell through the ice, and I think that's how I got an ice cube, but I'm not entirely sure, but I know I was ice skating at some point.
She's saying this, and you all know what happened, that her mother literally had her thrown into the ocean to kill her as a toddler.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Twilight has no recollection of ever being in a room like that, ever seeing a room like that in her entire life.
I think there's a lot that you probably don't know about yourself, Twilight.
Yeah. And I think I gotta go find myself.
I think that's a pretty good idea.
Alright, Tempest, let's go find ourselves and let's go get drunk.
You won't find yourself in the bottom of a bottle.
Yes, you will.
Yes, I will!
I never agreed. Picks up my
You
thing.
want to have a drinking contest?
Picks up the thing. I'm still feeling fuzzy, and I'm having some memory issues right now. I think I'm gonna chill tonight.
Alright, come on. And I grab flowers. Come on, flowers, let's do this.
Drinking contest. Aye, y'all think you could drink a dwarf on the table?
I'm gonna call Patches.
Okay. Pick your poison.
Yeah, I want the strongest alcohol that I can drink. Rubbing alcohol, of course, but the strongest alcohol that I can actually have, because Flowers and I are going to have a drinking contest. I will pay you 1,000 gold if you do it. And 1 lollipop.
So, he kind of thinks for a moment. You've tried the demon's blood and the celestials do. How about dragon's breath this time around? Does that sound good? It's only 10,000 gold a bottle. It is the strongest. It is the strongest I have.
Okay, I'll do it.
This is pretty much done in front of all of you, and you just hear how she's decided she's going to spend 10,000 gold on a bottle of alcohol mid-adventure.
You know what? It is her gold.
Yeah.
And I get to drink it because I'm not paying for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now-
I'm buying it.
Now, Captain, you are aware that a single shot of this is like drinking an entire pint of your vodka. So how are you two going to go around? How are you going to go about this drinking contest?
We share the bottle.
You're just going to pour like pints?
Well, how big is the bottle? It better be pretty massive.
No, it's only a 750 milliliter, just a standard bottle.
Better do pints. And
It's-
I can handle a swig.
It's just like the top tier of the top tier. There's 25 shots in it, so essentially you could each take 12 shots with one remaining in the bottle.
I was thinking, I take a half a bottle, he takes the half.
Pius, you got that spell ready again?
Yes, I can cast it 2 more times. Drink up, everyone.
Alright, let's do this. Are you ready, Cap?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Alright, come on, drunken sailor. Let's do this.
So you're just going to try to chug half the bottle and then hand it to him to chug half the bottle immediately?
Yep.
I need you to make a constitution save to see if you even drink half the bottle in one go.
Should I detect this to make sure that it's not water?
It is definitely not.
Okay,
As you open it,
I have a thing with trust issues
Yeah.
when it comes to patches.
no, as you open it, you can smell how potent it is, and there's only a hint of the smell of alcohol, which is strange. The majority of the smell seems to be burnt, like fire, sulfur, and the musk of a very large creature, very reminiscent of a dragon, and that's what it makes you remind you of as you smell it.
Just plug your nose. Let's do this.
So, Twilight, you get to roll the Constitution save first since you're going first. This is not for. Can you
Go ahead,
prepare?
sorry. Can I prepare like a gust spell and to like catch them if they fall?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so this first save wasn't even about getting drunk, Twilight. You got the 21, and you are able to slam through half the bottle in this first breath. It burns. And you were in the volcanic temple, you've been hit with fire spells, and as you chug it, it feels like you are drinking fire, liquid fire. It
Holy
hurts as you slam it back, but you are able to get through that half the bottle, and you kind of pull it back and push it out. And Captain, it is your turn to grab the bottle and try to slam the second half. You need a Constitution save just to get through the bottle. This is not for poison. You do not have advantage.
That is going to be 25.
You managed to slam it as well. Now, seeing as that was 12 and a half shots each, the DC would spike to over 30.
Oh,
You do not get saves. You finish slamming it. Actually, what are your Constitution save bonuses?
+7.
+7. And Twilight's is +6. You both get to make one Constitution save.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, are we even feeling drunk? Or are we just feeling like we're on fire?
I'll describe the full thing after, but each of you make a Constitution save. The DC is 30. I know you can't make it, but there's a secondary DC of 25. So this is whether you get under 25. Captain, what'd you get?
Maybe roll my
26.
You got 26.
I rolled a 19.
I got 22 because I used my lucky.
You used your lucky. So even with lucky, you did not meet the 25, Twilight. Captain, you hit it, so you don't suffer the greater effects, because there's a fail by 5 or more. That's the secondary DC there.
Oh.
So you managed to avoid the
Roll this
after
for a nat
effects.
20?
Yeah, basically, both of you had... Captain had to roll a natural 18, you had to roll a natural 19 for this save.
I beat it by 1. I'm so happy.
Show off.
I need both of you to roll... Both of you roll 4d4 and 4d8, and tell me the highest d4 and the highest d8 each.
Okay, 4d4
And 4d8, so plus 4d8.
plus 4d8. 28.
No, I just needed the highest roll of each, which is 4 and an 8 for you.
4 and an 8. Yep.
For Captain. For
Yarr.
Twilight, it is a 3 and a 6.
Wasn't. Oh, I thought it was a 4 and a 6.
No, yours, your highest was a 3 and a 6
Okay.
between the two. So, Captain, for the next 8 weeks, you are gaining the benefits of Dragon's Breath.
Yes.
Nice.
Twilight,
Nice.
for the next 6 days, you gain the benefit. Now,
gain what?
you gain the benefit of the Dragon's Breath. And it's a +2 strength, +2 dexterity.
You mean I get to breathe fire?
No, it's just a stat bonus. But Twilight, for the next 6 days, you have that +2 strength, +2 dex. And Captain, it's for 8 weeks.
8 weeks, you got it.
But this also comes with all of the negatives for that same amount of time unless something is done about it.
The negative effect is we don't feel drunk. That's the negative effect.
Yeah, no. You are absolutely shit-faced for the next 8 weeks, Captain, if something's not done. And Twilight, well, no, Captain, you're, like, super drunk, but not quite total shit-faced. But you are still pretty bad off. Twilight, on the other hand, would be absolutely shit-faced, because she's also suffering the secondary effects of it for this full time unless something is done. Twilight, you are going to experience vivid hallucinations.
Vivid hallucinations?
Between the poisoned status effect and this, you have disadvantage on every d20 roll until something is done about it.
Like, what do you mean, like, done? Like,
The poison that's coursing through your body and fucking you up like this. Now, Twilight, for you, you kind of start stumbling as it's hitting you, and you look around at everything, and you do not see your comrades standing in these places. Instead, what you see are 8 angels made of, and yes, I do mean 8, even though there aren't 8 of you. You see 8 angels made of ice standing around you, which causes you to go into an immediate panic attack at the thought of being frozen again, but this time by celestial beings. And you start to reach your arm out and scream at the top of your lungs, but it barely even starts to come out before you just collapse unconscious.
Gust.
oh shit.
Yours is not this bad. You start to, stumble back, and you can feel it hitting you, and you realize that you have overdone this. You have more than enough experience with drinking, and you don't really have enough control to do much, but you kind of try to be like, alcohol poison, and you start to collapse as well. And both of them are now unconscious with alcohol poisoning, one for 8 weeks and one for 6 days.
Well, that
So because
was fun to
I have a
watch.
question, since Raph did Gust, am I still visualizing that since I didn't really...
Oh no, you passed out, and that's what made you fall.
Oh, okay.
You are both unconscious, but the gust basically kept you from slamming into the floor. So you more like gently land and don't get a concussion.
See, Rat's the responsible inhibitor.
Oh shit!
You're the one that picked up all of our stuff when we pass out.
But you notice that this is hitting Twilight definitely harder than Captain, because she kind of starts coughing, and she coughs up some blood. And she's taken some hits and damage, but this is the first time you're seeing her blood, and it's this pale white milky color.
Oh.
Am I like actually in like a shaking mode?
You're not you're not convulsing. It's not like a seizure, but her hands are like twitching slightly.
I'm going to gesture over. Pius, she needs your help, and use like a piece of parchment to wipe the blood off, and kind of hold that to the side.
Oh, dear. All right.
I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration on her.
All right. The coughing and the shaking both stop, but she is definitely still unconscious.
I check Captain. Is he just out?
Oh yeah, he's just out. No, he probably has alcohol poisoning. He usually has slightly darker skin. He's always been the type of person to be out in the sun and such, and he's pretty damn pale at the moment.
Then I'm gonna sit down and ritually cast Identify on the blood.
Ooh.
That was good. I wasn't expecting you to do that. That's pretty badass.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Yeah, I think that one deserves a plot point.
I agree. That's a plot point for you, Wrath.
Thank you.
And a plot point for me too, because it was my blood.
No, no.
Nice try, though.
Your actions themselves did not actually drive the plot forward. So you identify it, and it's blood. it definitely is blood. And even though identify normally only works on like magic items, there's a few things that, although they're not strictly magic items, manage to fall in the category for the sake of the spell. And this one does. Her blood shows no difference from a solar angel.
SOLAR?
Yes.
Solar Angel?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's actually supposed to be pronounced solar or solar. I just think solar sounds cooler. I'll be honest there.
Yeah.
And yeah, her blood is identical to one of these essentially archangels.
I've read about this somewhere.
Those
This
things
is.
are fucking badass.
Is she back awake?
No.
No, out of game. Star says that.
Yeah. I've read about these beings before. Solar angels. Do you think she's a descendant of one?
Possibly. Does that mean she's dangerous?
So, Pius, because you've already made checks and such on like angel anatomy, well, Aasimar more or less, and you know that they have a lot of traits. It kind of comes back to mind with that information. You know that Aasimar, although their blood does show some signs of, their angelic lineage, it's usually impossible to tell what type of angel or celestial being that they descend from. Her blood is more closely tied to a half angel than an Aasimar.
She's a half-breed.
Hey, I take offense to that.
Well, it's true.
You're not wrong. There's quite a few ancestors between, is all I'm saying.
Well, how would you describe it? In a respectful way.
An offshoot.
That sounds worse.
Maybe, yeah. I don't actually know. That was just the first thing that popped into my mind. But anyway, what do you mean?
She's not full-blooded, Angel. As far as I know.
I mean, I've never heard of a halfling angel to begin with. I didn't think she was.
It is interesting, to say the least.
Pius, do you mean that she's somewhere between like a normal Aasimar and a full angel? Like a half angel?
I believe so.
You meant closer to literally, then?
Yes. Like, from the heavens, kind of. Angel. We should keep an eye on her.
Yeah. Definitely. We should also probably get them in some damn beds, or at least bring beds to them. Yeah, I'm not moving that.
All right.
I'm going to put blankets on them.
He goes up, Pius goes up and just grabs each of them with one hand. Lifts them up by the front of their shirts like a bag and just carries them to a bed.
All
I
right.
kind of know. Who's gonna cook for you now? Assholes.
So, the night's eventful, and you all figure that you should probably be keeping an eye on these two more than going off and doing your own thing, so you don't really fill the time in other ways all that much. You can read and such, so Wrath, this is going on night 3 since you started reading the book, and you're only 7 hours into the 48.
Yes. Wrath is actually going to take a point of exhaustion and spend the time just in between the beds with these two reading, so all the way through until the next day.
Okay. So you can get in 20, or another 14 hours, so that puts you at 22.
22. Thank you.
Tempest, you get that level of exhaustion, one level of exhaustion gone. You still have a second when you wake up the next day, but you at least feel okay. Your head's not throbbing, but it's still a little sore. More like just a bruise at this point, a minor thing. You're a little tired, but you're pretty sure you can function more or less on your own. But Captain and Twilight, even with the lesser restoration, do not wake up. They are still out cold. Their bodies need mad recovery right now. So you could try to carry both of them with you as you travel, or you could just take a day and let them rest more.
We should let them rest, honestly. I think we could all use another vacation.
They're so weak.
They're not the only ones.
Star jumps in. She says, "Carry them, so we can get going."
Unfortunately, Star, you cannot take control of a completely unconscious body like this. Essentially,
That's true.
you are equally fucked up and unconscious.
That's true. I tried.
Star is very upset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay.
I can hear her screaming.
I'll keep an eye on them. Take a day. Relax.
I don't know what that means, but I'll just hang around.
That works.
Okay, Wrath, you could get 16 hours of reading in if you wanted to, and then get a good night's sleep.
That's exactly what he's gonna do.
That gets you at 38 of those hours. So you only got 10 more to go over. It's supposed to be a 6-day period, and this would be the 4th day, so you got 2 days to read 10 hours. You're gonna have to spend most of your free time the next couple days.
Yep.
Twilight, you just aren't gonna make it in this 6 days. Sorry to say. You're gonna have to restart the book.
What?
You got so fucked up, you forgot everything you had already read, and the magic that was starting to grasp you just faded. So you have to restart this book and just lost your 16 hours of progress.
God
Star
damn
is
it.
screaming very loudly right now.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was planning on just letting my hours go by, and then this happened.
But yeah, Pious, Tempest, the two of you have a day to do as you please, if there's anything you want to do.
I want to work on my strength score.
You just want to pump iron?
Yeah, I want to rip a tree out of the fucking ground and fucking bench press it.
And shit.
And not just like a twig either. I'm talking like a rooted fucking tree.
What's your strength again? Like 24?
Yeah, 24 right now.
I will say from an out-of-game perspective, just because of how ability scores work past 20, you're not actually going to make any progress. It's not going to get you
That's
towards anything, but it's kind of badass that you just sit there and spend 8 hours freaking bench pressing a tree, a literal
Yeah,
tree.
if you'll let me do it, I don't care if I get an ability score or not. I just want to do that.
It's not one of the taller trees. The tree's only like 12, 13 feet tall, but I mean that's still a hefty
Enough for
chunk
me.
of wood.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be considered a dead tree? Because every time that I think Pius touches a plant or something, it dies.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's why he can just rip it out, and I'm not making him roll.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're
So it would
benching a
really
dead
play-
fucking tree, but it's still got some weight to it.
Hell yeah.
Metal. Can I jump into the room where Wrath is to discuss the things I had overnight?
Yes, but we're at the end of our 4 hours, so we will have to start with you discussing all that with him.
Damn.
Wait, no.
Yeah, no, we want to see what happens to the tree.
It gets tossed aside at the end of 8 hours of pumping.
Everyone wants
Hard
to
pumping.
hear. Everyone wants to know where the dagger's gonna be.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us. We appreciate it so much. We hope to see you again next time. And as always,
I love you. Bye bye, Kobo.
Bye, bitches!